How are you?
Glad to be here.
So let's start talking about the episode. I mean, what did you think about some of these stories? Was there anything that jumped out?
Yeah, the first thing that really jumped out to me was I grew up not far from Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Really?
In South Central Pennsylvania, as we called it. One of the things that suffuses growing up in that area is this immediate awareness of people who have a very thoughtful relationship with technology because there's so many Amish and Mennonite people around.
Right.
What do you do if you're Amish and you're on these cameras? There is no appeal.
They don't have a choice, really. It's happening.
Right.
And,
there is no reckoning and there is no agency.
So do you think in this particular example, are you concerned that even people who took exception to this basically took exception on the basis that they wanted more of it?
We're in an interesting moment in American history where consumer technologies, one, have merged with surveillance culture, right? So people are like, I love being on Facebook, and it's a surveillance engine. And so we have this complete merger of technology with surveillance across every consumer category, our cars, our social media, our social networking, our vacuum cleaners, everything that is called smart is surveilled.
And we're trained to opt in.
Yes.
Culturally trained to opt in.
What is a
Americans.
smartphone without an internet connection? I mean, that's like it's a paperweight. Yeah. So that's sort of one part. The other part is there's long been an American view of technology as the secular religion of the country, right? And it didn't matter when it was TV, it was TV. When it was the internet, it was internet. And probably, when it was Morse code, it was that. And in each case, to be against the adoption of technology is to be a heretic against the secular religion of America. And it's a weird position for me as somebody who builds technology and loves it and has worked in the industry to sort of be skeptical of. But like most things, it's mostly good, a little bit bad, and we should be thoughtful. But you don't hear that about the sort of mass surveillance that we're deploying. It's good and more would be better. Well, even ice cream, you have to eat like a limited amount. And,
that is true.
And even if, I don't think like private surveillance via webcam of public squares is as good as ice cream.
What did you think about the story about the sharks?
That was incredible. I mean, I have a lot fewer qualms about observing sharks.
Right. I think, as we all do.
Like,
right?
I think if they were dolphins, it would be a different reckoning. I think dolphins, they probably have more rights than sharks, unfortunately, or fortunately. What's interesting was the intent of the use of technology. Right, it's this empathy. Let's understand them. Let's protect them.
Right.
Let's save them.
Which maybe starts at a different point than let's stop the criminals.
Well, and that's it. And so you never hear an advocate of video tracking of humans talk about let's empathetically save the humans. And I like sharks, but right. I like people too.
Yeah. Let's chat about Frida for a minute.
Yeah.
It was really interesting to hear that perspective of, I thought as a black woman that I had a particular relationship with the police in my community, and that thinking changed after this happened to me.
Yeah. The story was striking and heartbreaking, of course, but it wasn't the technology. What changed that relationship and her view of the police was confronting the humanity of somebody when you're vulnerable and you're hurt and you've suffered a grievous loss. I don't want to dismiss the compassion she was shown by the police, but my God, if you can't be compassionate towards a woman who's lost her son, there's this far, far deeper problem. But it's a separate issue from, the role that technology played. One, I think a lot of police are very good at their jobs and can find and hold people accountable for crimes like murder and other forms of violence without cameras. I think, two, the fact that she only got the compassionate treatment from this institution after suffering this kind of loss is a problem, not something to be featured after, right? And I think it speaks to the distancing that the cameras do. I think, as the critics pointed out, that was the first conversation she'd had with those detectives. If they weren't trying to police by camera, would they have been in the neighborhood and already had a relationship with her to where she would have seen their humanity and they had seen hers?
Yeah. Do you think we can build surveillance responsibly?
No.
And that it can save us?
No. I think only we can save us. The tech does what we want, right? And the tech follows our values. And we haven't had the conversation about what our values are about this.
Can we trust ourselves to have the value conversation? And if not, then what's our option?
When we use tech to try to mediate our values, it just postpones the conversation and heightens it until it is too fraught to go undiscussed.
Anil Dash, thank you for talking to me about this.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, that's it for now. By the way, if you want access to all of this season's episodes, you don't have to wait for them to come out. Find our code somehow. Once you get it, you can input your code at the website codebreaker.codes. Our show is produced by Claire Tennisketter. Our senior producer is Golda Arthur. Our engineer is Jake Gorski. We got production support from Levi Sharp and Marketplace tech producer Stephanie Hughes. Marketplace's executive producer is Sitara Nieves. And Marketplace's vice president is Deborah Clark. Our theme music is by Mux Mool. Our show is made in partnership with the nice folks at Tech Insider and their robot overlord, Dan Bobkoff. You can get updated on their stories and much more at businessinsider.com. Just don't believe what they say about us.
The man shoving a big bottle of wine up his coat.
I'm Ben Brock Johnson. Codebreaker is a Marketplace production from APM.